MCs that was ever created. So it kind of, makes him look like he's not as great. People, sometimes don't give him the credit that he deserves. But, I'll bet, Big Boy can out rap 85-90% of the rappers that's out now. Yeah. That's currently the top people. So fortunately I didn't pick Big Boy, but I'm pretty solid with my Kendrick.
You gotta look at Kendrick Section 80 on, or even like the Kendrick Lamar EP when he got out of the K-Dot phase. It's been banger after banger after. Like you can't really argue against this cat. You could say Dan might have been a dip off, but Dan was still a great album.
I like Dan. I think it's a classic. I think at this point he's got. I mean, Section 80 is like an underground kind of jewel. But I think his first 3 layouts, major release layouts, are all 5-star material.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and then with his Black Panther soundtrack with the whole TDE, he's a 5. He's not. People were arguing why is he so high, and here's the thing: like we're not biased towards the old school versus the new school, but we're just saying like history always has more on its side because it has already happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And these newer artists are making their bones right now. Right. But if we're looking at what he's done, if he dies today, this dude is a top 5 MC. Like that's why he's a 5 in this bracket. Yeah. To us.
No, to me, listen. Like my personal favorite album, "Till the Silk from the Butterfly." A lot of people don't like it because it was more of more of a 180 compared to his other albums. But I'm like he's making essentially a funk album for this generation. But still be able to still rap an MC on it. Blacker the Berry. And some of the other tracks are on there, and you can tell he's a student of the game. Yeah. He gives homage to the elders, right, which a lot of these younger MCs are not doing at all. I mean, you had Lil Xan talking about Tupac being boring. Like Tupac don't have to be your favorite rapper, but you know what I mean. You still gotta respect the elders.
Yeah, he don't understand because he's younger than me and he's like 18, 19. But when I was 18, 19, before I really listened to Kool G rap, or Big Daddy Kane, I'm not listening to these old ass niggas. I'm like, they would be boring to me until you really study it and then you really see where where your roots come from. He just uneducated on it, ignorant.
Frederick, I'm gonna assume that you picked Macklemore out of this matchup. You defer to Macklemore. Like fuck it.
Yeah, okay. No, I actually much closer to Kendrick. That's just he just doesn't have. He's like I think someone mentioned earlier. Talk about this in 3 or 4 years from now. We might be doing a different story, but Big Boy. He's been in the game long enough, and he has the classics, and for me has had much more of an impact on my love for hip hop. So I love Big Boy. Even though Kendrick Lamar was robbed by Macklemore.
He was. All right.
He definitely was.
I can say it.
All right. So we'll slide over. In fact, before we slide over, we're gonna get Open Mind on the line and let him drop his 2 cents. No pun intended. On all things bracket related. Yo, brother. Welcome to the 2 Cents Pod, my fellow. How's it hanging? Yo,
yes, sir. Glad to be here.
From the West Coast, what up, man? Over there in San Francisco. Yo, man. So
all is well. The bracket is circulating.
Yo, man. First of all, shout outs, big ups to you, man. Yours?
You're cutting in and out a little bit, but go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, man, I just want to give you props, man, for helping power this thing on Twitter and Facebook with the @rapper bracket. Go check us out again at @rapper bracket on Twitter, Facebook. We're going to Instagram it live, and yeah, man. So, what are your thoughts, man, on what you've been listening to so far for this first round?
Well, for one thing, I think because we got some fairly big name retweets from like Marcus Thompson, who's like a beat writer for the Golden State Warriors, and my roommate Bonte Hill, who is a sports talk personality in the Bay Area. I feel like a lot of the people who have responded on Twitter have been from the Bay Area. So, I mean, not so surprisingly, there's been a backlash of East Coast bias claims.
Right.
And another thing that I realized is that what I put on the Twitter page initially was that the birthplace of hip hop. So I put New York, and I put August 11th, 1973. Because if you do your research, you'll see that the first block party ever put on was on that date in the Bronx. So I think that people saw it and they were like, "Oh, this is just some New York cat with a typical East Coast bias, putting Biggie as a 1 seed and Tupac as a 2 seed."
Right.
And that may have been a mistake on our part, to be honest, because I do feel people on that argument. It's like we probably should have made both of those guys either a 1 seed or both of them a 2 seed. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's what I'm getting from people.
So we talked a lot about other things, but I've been handing out the brackets at parties and I'm circulating online, and I feel like Tupac is at a good space. Me being like a Tupac heavy fan, like I can't speak out of like irrational fandom. You know what I mean? So when you guys were saying, hey, we think he should be lower, then I think a 2 is a nice compromise for Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad too, but I can see an argument for 1, but I wasn't totally upset him being 2 because to me that was still a high seed.
Right. And we can only have 4 number 1s. I mean,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
And even Biggie had 2, I wouldn't be mad at that neither. Like,
yeah.
They could have been 1 or 2s for me.
Interchangeable. Yeah, interchangeable. So, Sing Man, ride with us, man. We're going to float to the 6 and 11 seeds, which is actually, you know what? We just finished Kendrick and Big Boy. So we wrapped up the 512s. Yeah, so 6 and 11, we got Mos Def and MCA of Beastie Boys. Who you guys feeling? I mean, I chose Mos Def on that one. How y'all feeling about that matchup?
I definitely chose Mos Def. Just because I could relate to Mos Def a little bit more. Beastie Boys, again, was a little bit before my time, but I did always do my research on them. But, they were cool for what they were during that time. But, Mos is he's hip-hop royalty. And he's one of those dudes that don't get the respect that I feel he deserves. But, yeah, definitely more Mos Def, though.
I went with Mos as well. I think Beastie Boys, and I think it was kind of, you can call it cultural, racial, whatever. I think after a while, the Beastie Boys, remember, they were the first, number 1 rap album, I think, when they were signed to Def Jam. Yeah. But I think it came with a race thing, not on Beastie Boys' side, but this white America, because you remember, after a while, if I wanted to listen to a Beastie Boys track, I couldn't hear it on Power 99. I had to listen to a rock station. And it was almost like white America was saying no.
Separated.
They were trying to take from they're making your quote unquote black music, but it's not for you guys. Right. We're gonna keep it on the station here now. Right. And I think that was an injustice to them. And I think that kind of took away from what they were and what they stood for. Because they were for the people, they were for everybody.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it was like white America radio stations like, oh well, we're not gonna play them on black radio no more. We're just gonna play them here. And I remember hearing Eminem on some of these rock stations too. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a hip hop artist. Like, this is not your genre. So why are you playing them here?
Right.
So I think that kind of took away from them just because of the powers that be. But I still gave it the most. I mean, when I'm looking at what he's done, and granted, you can say after the first album, most kind of might went left field this way. But to me, that the
Playing
support,
drums and
playing drums and shit. But I still had to go with most with this one here too. But I mean, you can't sleep on MCA.
Before Sing and Frederick chime in, I just want to say that the place of MCA, it just really, to me, it dictates the care that we put into this, because not only do we make sure we had a Beastie Boys representation, but we had to actually pick a member that we felt spoke, volumes about that movement at that time with Def Jam, and in the late '80s, early '90s. But I had to go Mos Def just primarily on MC and skills on the Black Star album, Black on Both Sides, even his second and third albums for me for Mos Def. But definitely big up to MCA.
I agree. I went with Def Mos. And all those points, basically what we're after that. As an MC, he's just, he's got more to offer, and has offered more in his career, in either of their careers.
Right.
So, I think like, now I'm getting like an echo thing happening.
Echoing?
Like everything I say, I'm hearing myself again.
Damn, you want me to?
Okay, wait, it might have stopped now. All right, cool.
More on his end.
No, I think it's good now. So I think kind of like you were just saying about like Beastie Boy representation. Like I almost feel the same way about like Pasta News. Like we felt it was a nod to their legacies of those groups, De La Soul, Beastie Boys, to include one member of both. And I'm glad we did that. I mean, MCA has always been my favorite Beastie Boy, and it was hard for me to vote here, but I had to go with Mos Def. I mean, just like everyone's been saying, I mean, on the strength of Black on Both Sides and the Black Star album alone, like, not to mention all of his features and the early shit with like Lyricist Lounge, Down Bombing and whatnot, like I had to go with Mighty Mos.
Word. So we'll slide on down in the Low End Theory region for the same matchup for the 6 and 11, and we had Talib and MC Lyte. Y'all already know, man. Y'all know I'm a Talib stan, so I had to go Kweli on this one. I think the last time I checked, MC Lyte had like 16% for MC Lyte, 84% for Kweli. Well, again, like I feel like MC Lyte is appropriate here at an 11 spot, and I feel like Talib is appropriate at a 6 spot. It's interesting how this Talib and Mos are both 6 spots,
right?
And I feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah, that's respectable.
I feel like Kweli edges out MC Lyte just because of the longevity factor. Like Kweli he put out a great album earlier this year called Radio Silence. Check it out. But albums like Eardrum, Quality, Beautiful Struggle, the Black Star album, Reflection Eternal, and MC Lyte is more like, and I guess it's to her era. MC Lyte was more of a singles type of rapper. You can't really look to an album from her, but she had like a lot of party singles, a lot of hip hop cuts, and I think it just goes to the eras and time frame. And I think Kweli, he benefits just from being out later, in a later time in hip hop for this matchup.
I agree, and it was kind of me struggling with it, especially because when I saw the Juice Crew live, she was one of the acts prior, and she still got it. She even she was doing new material, freestyling, and like she can still spit like she's probably one of the greatest female MCs of all time. She might be the greatest. But I mean, I still had to go with Talib, but I mean, I did struggle with it a little bit more than I expected to struggle with this because of, granted, we don't know, we can't say MC Lyte had a quote unquote classic. I mean, unless we're talking about Light as Rock.
Right.
But I mean, the work that she put in, especially for females, I mean, if we're talking about Lauryn Hill and everybody else, even like Rhapsody, they're all of her cloth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't really difficult for me to pick this one. Like,
I mean, it's difficult like that. I'm saying as far as what
you have to take a glance at it.
I'm saying,
You really have to look at it.
So I mean, when I already looked at it on paper, I'm like, well, Talib wins this, but I'm like, I'm looking as far as history, influence.